Hello Clarkston, I'm Rod Rock, Superintendent of Schools, and this is Real Learning, where we showcase the excellent learning and teaching that happen every day in the Clarkston Community Schools. Today I'm fortunate to have as my guest Mrs. Amy Quayle, who is a leadership and language arts teacher at Clarkston High School. And Amy works really hard to give students opportunities to learn and to grow as leaders in our school system. Welcome to the show, Amy.
Hi, Dr. Rock.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for asking me.
Can you tell us a little bit about your educational background?
So I was born and raised in a really small town, and I was exposed to some amazing teachers and educators, my dad being one of them. And he was the main reason that I got into education. I was lucky enough to have him for 4 classes. He was also my high school softball coach and our athletic director back home. But I was surrounded by a lot of different teachers, both in school and within our family, that made me realize in my junior year of college that I no longer wanted to be a business major, but rather I wanted to be an educator.
Mm-hmm. And I know you were the Clarkston Foundation Teacher of the Year last year, so obviously you had lots of people who had a big impact on you.
Yeah, very much so. When I made the decision to switch to education, it was this kind of like founding experience where I was working, coaching softball, and one day I just kind of was in the middle of practice and it just hit me that I wasn't going to be able to coach if I was going into business, and what my true passions were teaching kids and watching them succeed and watching them, find out new things, and the epiphany light, that I like to call it, go on when they learned a new skill or they mastered a skill. That was something that I knew I wouldn't be able to do unless I was in the realm of education.
So given that as your passion, what's your philosophy of teaching, and what does that look like in your classroom?
So one of the things that I've kind of focused on throughout my educational career is providing opportunities for kids in lots of different capacities. When I first started teaching back in 2005, it was creating a classroom where kids felt safe. The environment was solely about making them feel passionate and them understand the opportunities that they had in front of them, and slowly grow that into this philosophy of, well, how can I better accommodate these kids for this world that they're going to be walking into 4 years after high school. And ultimately, what I've done is within my classroom, I've created an environment that's safe, that's strong, that celebrates passion, which celebrates opportunities, which gives kids positive feedback and constructive criticism that they can utilize both inside the classroom and outside the classroom.
So what is leadership in the Clarkston schools?
Leadership in the Clarkston schools, it's different at every level. At the high school here, we have a program called the Leadership Program, and we focus on providing opportunities for our student body to be involved in various events throughout the course of the year. One of our biggest weeks is homecoming, and the second biggest week that we have during the course of the year is Charity Week. But my kids work consistently throughout the summer, 2 days a week, to create opportunities for all of our student body to partake in different events throughout the course of the year, whether it's giving back to charity, whether it's participating in boys volleyball for a fundraiser for the junior and senior classes, or powder puff football is a huge fundraiser for the classes as well. There's a lot of engagement opportunities for our students to engage with one another and engage with other people outside in our community.
And also you have what's called a co-taught classroom, right?
I do. My co-taught classroom is a classroom that is, it was based on the philosophy that having 2 teachers in there would be better than having just one. So I work with a special ed teacher, and we've created a curriculum that is solely defined and kind of flexible to the needs and the ability levels of our students, and it gives our kids more opportunities for one-on-one instruction, time to sit down and conference, and we work on building a lot of relationships through trust and integrity to show them that we really believe in the abilities that they have, and to help them grow throughout the course of the year when they're with us.
And some of the other things that I know you're involved with, besides the leadership and the prom and homecoming, is Clarkston Harbor. Will you tell us a little bit about that?
So I went and saw a motivational speaker last year, and his name was Mike Smith. And Mike is a student, he's an advocate for students and for teenagers, and he founded the charity Skate for Change. And Skate for Change goes out into the community and it delivers food to the homeless that are living in those nearby communities. And just listening to him, you could sense the passion that he had for the things that he had done and how he had overcome some pretty big obstacles in his life and some adversity to become the person that he had. And so we started viewing his show, which was the original Harbor television show. Now it's funded through Jostens. So Jostens is giving schools the opportunity to view his different episodes that he has throughout the course of the year. And he's got 3 seasons thus far. And when he came in to speak to our kids during Charity Week, he had asked both myself and Lauren Culver and Scott Banks from Independence Television, and Scott is also a teacher here at the high school in our media program, if we could somehow formulate a way in which we could get student voices heard. So Lauren and I kind of took that as our jump off point. Like, that's where we decided to go. We thought it was super important to give our students a voice. So we kind of started, I sent out an email asking teachers to give me any names of students who they thought might have a passion about something that they would be willing to talk about. And from there, it kind of flourished. We've had 3 episodes so far that are completely finished, and we have a few more episodes that are going to be taped so that we as teachers can utilize those as resources and allow our students to understand from the student perspective what bullying looks like, what passion looks like, what academic pressure looks like, to allow our students to better understand that other kids are feeling some of the same ways that they are.
And that seems to be a theme for you as a teacher, to really give kids opportunities to lead. And I hadn't noticed or paid so much attention before, but I see that our kids really do have ownership in our schools, especially at the high school, the way that they experience and feel like they have voices. Is that what you've seen in students through leadership?
Definitely. I think our staff does such an amazing job of empowering our students, and they take the opportunity to, focus on so many different elements within the classroom. Yes, it's about academics, but they also build relationships. They create safe environments. Kids know that they can go to these staff members and they can go to each other, and they do take ownership of the things that they do, and the way in which they lead, and the integrity that they hold for the person that they want to become outside these walls.
Okay. So can you talk a little bit about any particular student you've really connected with in your experiences, and maybe how you've remained connected?
So I have a pretty deep connection with a lot of my leadership students. Most of them have been with me for 3 years, so they come in as sophomores and they usually don't leave the program until they're seniors. But there's one student in particular who I was so very proud of her. Her name is Abby Rink, and Abby graduated 3 years ago. She'll be a junior next year in college at Michigan State University. And Abby is one who explored her passions. In her senior year, she started pushing herself outside of her comfort zone, and I always talk about, think outside the box. And Abby definitely did that, and I was so proud to see her pushing herself outside the box, whether it was performing at the Poetry Slam, or when she went to college, she got involved with the local radio station there. And she's been working for the local radio station at MSU, and this year she was afforded an opportunity to stay on and work in the summer and to actually plan their events. And I got a text the other day from her saying, I wouldn't have been able to do this without the incredible support of my teachers and especially the leadership program. But what I think is it's collective. I have a parent who always says to me, it takes a village, and I feel like here at Clarkston High School we are that village, and that we help shape these kids, and we're there in opportunities, and we give them opportunities to seek out advice, to empower themselves, and to really become the person that they see for themselves in the next 10 years down the road.
And I've seen that with students who go through, and I know the research says that when you get to college, it's really important for you to be involved in the college and get involved in groups and to figure out what kind of resources are available for you to support you in your learning. And the kids who are most involved seem to be the ones who continue and do well in college. So getting that start in high school is really important.
Yeah, definitely.
So I know that you're also involved with Cultures of Thinking here at the high school. Can you talk a little bit about what that means to you?
So the Cultures of Thinking philosophy has really kind of helped me shape my classroom as well, but in a different realm. It provided a lot of opportunities for some of my kids that may have struggled with language arts to really express themselves in a different way. Whether it was doing different routines that we did within the class that empowered them to speak and to be more vocal. I have a lot of students who come into that co-taught class and they're very uncomfortable with speaking because that's something that is it's not something that they feel they're very strong at. And to create that cultural piece of valuing their thinking and making it visible and giving them the opportunity to show the things that they've done, the way that they're thinking about something, and even allowing them extra time to ask questions and addressing them as a whole, you know, what those questions are and the fact that other people may have the same questions has allowed those kids to flourish. And it has also allowed I feel like a lot of our students to ask deeper questions, to think more deeply about a topic. So instead of going more broad, they're staying shorter and they're going deeper in those thought processes and creating such dynamic discussions within the classroom.
Okay. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we finish?
I think I'm good.
Okay. Thank you very much for being on the show.
No, thank you for having me.
I'm really grateful to you, Amy, for all of your work and the way you empower our students, and the way that you help them grow and make such strong connections with them. And I'm appreciative that our community can hear a little bit more about you and your background and how you were influenced by teachers, and that's really your passion in life to make a difference in kids' lives. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into the show today.